Hi there, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. We're gonna do it in the creek tarot oracle reading. I was gonna actually do the reading here on this rock and it's so hot out. I need to be in the water, so it's gonna be a weird reading. Welcome to my channel. Let's get you some clarity. See what's going on in the energy, whatever messages would be the most helpful for you. It is a timeless collective reading. See what feels like it resonates. If it makes no sense, it could be a message for somebody else. It could also be keep an open heart, open mind. It could be a message that is for you, but makes sense a little bit later. Always follow that direct connection you have to your higher self, to God, to source, to the universe, because the answer's in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition so your decisions are sound, based in love, and for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's, no pun intended, dive right on in, but into the cards, not the water, because I'm trying to keep this half of my body dry. So we are gonna start with the divine truth, mostly because they're almost waterproof. Ooh, that kind of rhymed. All right, let's dive in, see what's going on in the energy. Now, this is gonna be whatever your person's higher self would like you to know to be helpful for you, possibly a future person for some of you. So let's see what God, source. I'm gonna put this in half so I can hold the cards. God, source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels and energies of love, have for the highest, greatest good of of all. I think a fish just went under my foot. What would be the first message helpful for the cult? I don't know what that was. Oh my God. Oh my God, let's just keep going. It's gonna be a weird one, guys. It's gonna be a wild ride. Let's see what's happening in the energy. I don't know what that was. What is the first message, please? And thank you. So, I feel like there is definitely an extra energy. Maybe that's why I got that little thrill that happened down there on my foot that I didn't expect. There is somebody that has a karmic attachment. For a lot of you, I feel like you know this. For a lot of you, I actually feel like you maybe have a sense that this person's energy kind of gets weird when they're separated from you for a little bit. Or maybe their energy just got weird, but you don't actually know the person that's making your person a little strange or a little weird or a little confused, probably also a little stressed out. It does look like whoever this is has a very big mouth. It could be that they chime in on their opinions or they have a lot to say on your relationship. But I feel like this person is internally focused on you, but externally it's all about them. So this does not have to be a lover. A karmic attachment is an attachment for a karmic purpose. Maybe there's an apology coming through for a purpose of healing, to get through that cycle, so that cycle is not repeating over and over and over and over. If somebody's repeating the cycle, they're not learning the lesson. And there also has to be a spiritual perspective and gentleness on your part, that whoever this is going through their own situation. They have their own perspective, whether it's wonky or not. There is a lesson this person is learning as well. And if you are connected to someone else that is in a karmic situation, it's probably a lesson you are learning too. For some of you, it might mean that you are the one that has to detach if somebody else is in an attachment. For some of you, it could be patience that is needed while something is being worked out. For some of you, it could be that you are the one being blessed in somebody's life, so they get another perspective. So they get a chance to see a different dynamic than what's pretty much like, I'm definitely smothering, definitely overpowering, definitely a little bit of a control freak here. And I feel like this energy keeps trying to sneak in the readings lately. And I also feel like we should get some clarity on how to bless that situation with healing, with love, maybe for something to be worked out for the highest and greatest good of all. That might be with you and that might not be with you. It also could be that somebody works out a situation with a person, breaks a karmic cycle, decides to stay with them, but that healing still was inspired by you, which you should be proud of. Because if you're here watching this, your attachment to anything, I feel like it is a vibration of love and truth, authenticity, and truly desiring the best for everyone, especially your person. And if your person's greatest good is not with you, I feel like you can release that energy of love and let go, let God, and trust that God has something planned for you. But right now, this person has a karmic attachment that won't let them go. They are causing chaos and drama. So this is someone that either feeds off of drama or possibly thinks that drama keeps them in control. But I mean, this could be somebody's mother, father, this could be somebody's kid needing attention. This could be a lover. This could be an ex-lover. You know, this could be somebody that somebody has children with, has a lot of responsibilities somewhere in their life with this person, or maybe there's non-responsibility kind of situation or avoidance happening as well. Let's dive deeper. We're gonna see what this karmic energy is. It's definitely, I don't know, it's like the headless horseman under there. It's like somebody's holding somebody's head like it's a football, like it's a trophy, like it's an object and not a person. So I am kind of getting that for a lot of you, this is a person or a personality that doesn't take into account maybe their person's feelings or your person's feelings. I hear agenda. It's more about their agenda, or maybe their comfortability. If somebody feels comfortable in a certain position, I don't think whoever's in that position feels very comfortable. So let's see. Clarify karmic. I did see that apology underneath the deck. So maybe somebody recognizes they put you in a funky situation because there was a karmic energy kind of wedging in between you and them. I just feel like the two energies are so different. I feel like your energy is really different than somebody else's. I saw like a mirror, but not somebody looking at themselves. That was really weird to see. Like I saw somebody looking into a mirror, but almost like they are looking at maybe you. Maybe there's somebody that's, I don't want to say like trying to be you, but maybe if there is somebody that recognizes that there is a connection between you and somebody else that feels divine, it feels special. Maybe they even see you with someone and it's like you're with your best friend, you have some inside jokes. And if somebody feels like they don't have that same connection, that same friendship, that same dynamic, I feel like somebody might be trying to do some things that you do, hoping that will make their connection to this karmic situation or person like deeper or stronger. I don't think it is, because it doesn't feel genuine. I feel like whatever you do is just you being you. Whether it's that you're very analytical and intelligent and a problem solver, or you're kind of a goofy puss and you do your thing, however you express yourself, maybe you're really like quiet and contained. Like, I'm not really getting that it matters what personality you are. I just feel like your person loves who you are. And it's not to say they don't love this person here, but I do feel like the connection is just, it's just different. It's different. So maybe there was a connection between this karmic and this person in the past and something changed. Let's get another card. What's another message? We're gonna move off the karmic subject for a minute. Maybe it's the way you communicate. Maybe somebody communicates really different than you over here. Maybe somebody had to cut communication with you for whatever reason that is. Some drama in their life. giving them time to be unattached to something. Maybe somebody didn't even really recognize that there was this maybe codependency or attachment that could have been kind of toxic, or at least unhealthy, or at least kind of the runaround situation that wasn't a growth. It was the dog chasing their tail, getting stuck on the carousel. It looks like these two are just, they're like dancing together. This guy got his boombox and his like Rambo headband on. And they're dancing on this orange. Knock, knock. Who's there? Banana. Banana who? Knock, knock. Who's there? Banana. I'm getting the joke wrong. It's like a joke for like second grade. Who's there? Orange. Orange, you got it. Didn't say banana. So maybe there was something that was repeating. Maybe you were the orange in that situation. Where all of a sudden, also I kept hearing a knock knock joke out of nowhere. So maybe somebody is going to be knocking on your door, or send a little message on your phone to open up this communication. Hopefully, maybe open up at least communication that brings you clarity if you've been unclear. Maybe it's just a hello. Maybe you don't get into the big talk on what happened yet, but I kind of feel like if you were always open with this person and they were always open with you, this person feels really weird not getting to talk to you, especially if they have drama. Because I kind of feel like they've always been okay with telling you about the weird day they've had, and maybe at one point they suddenly stopped doing that. Expect a message soon. They want to express how much they truly miss you. They really do. I do feel like a heavy energy all of a sudden. Somebody really misses you. They miss how, even when it's that dance energy, maybe you never went out dancing. Was that a fish? Did you see it? I hope it was on camera. It also scared the shit out of me. Maybe something's about to jump out of the water if there was something emotionally stuck under the surface. Ooh, that was cold. And maybe it's that breaching. When I usually think of a whale or a dolphin, but maybe when the fish comes out of the water, that's that breath, that relief. Maybe that's what you will feel after this communication. Maybe for some of you, you don't want to communicate. You're good. Maybe a little clarity, maybe that apology, but you're going to kind of keep it simple. Hi, bye. You know, how you doing? Call me every once in a while. Talk to you in a couple years. But for some of you, you do want to communicate. You miss your friend. If you're dancing here, that means you're in the now. That means when you were with this person, you weren't too ahead and you weren't getting stuck in the past. You were exactly in that point of the dance that you were on, and I kind of feel like you danced pretty well together. I feel like there was a back and forth communication. You probably had good, sassy banter, or I keep getting the inside jokes. Maybe this person just makes you laugh. Also, maybe like that fish over there, maybe something kind of slipped out of your hands. Maybe you slipped out of theirs. So, clarity on communication and a karmic. Maybe somebody has, I like the thing that stands out the most in that picture is her pink shoes. Maybe somebody has pink sneakers. Also, there's something with that orange about maybe being out in the sun, getting a little extra vitamin D. So maybe this is communication that is offering you a chance to get out of the house or do something in the sunshine. What is another message from this same half? We're going to go to the other half. What's another message helpful for the collective on karmic and communication? Wow. Your person's higher self wants you to know that they're in love with you. Maybe they were in love with you from the moment they met eyes with you. I feel like most of you have never heard the words, I love you. Maybe some of you have. That would be a really hurtful situation if somebody expressed how much they love you and then went back to their old patterns or an old cycle, or let somebody get in between that love or separate you from it or them. But this isn't just I love you. This is somebody saying they're going a little bit deeper here. They're actually saying they're in love with you. This could be somebody that never really was in love. Maybe they thought they were. But if somebody is feeling a different kind of love with you, a different kind of depth with you, especially if somebody is in the energy of a spiritual connection, that's going to be a different level of love. It's going to be so multifaceted. You know, it's loving everything unconditionally. Especially if there's no conditions, especially if you've always just wanted the best for this person. If you never put any strings on them to do this or to change or to get better or to fix them. I feel like you maybe encouraged this person to do so, but it wasn't that you have to do this kind of energy. It was just maybe a natural conversation. I do feel like you have inspired this person to want to be better. But I feel like a lot of you are dealing with a person that kept slipping back into their old ways. And I kind of feel like they're getting to that point where they feel like they know better now and they may not have in the past. But if here's somebody saying they loved you yesterday, I saw all that stuff with the dancing and being in the now. They loved you yesterday, they love you today, and they will love you for always. They're always going to love you and be in love with you. That would be something that somebody misses. So let's go to the other half and see. Maybe some of you have a future where this person finally gets to not just express and simply communicate how much they are in love with you, but it's more like that dancing energy, and they get to experience it with you. I don't know, I just got like flashes. It was really weird. I saw that image that, I don't know, I think it was like a screensaver I had on one of my first computers, like one of the old, like way back Apples. And it was something that you could put on the screensaver where it took all of the images that you had in your computer, and I don't know if it went backwards or forwards, but it would show one picture. I think it went forward and would zoom into that picture, and you would see all the other little pictures that were in your computer that made up that, like a mosaic. I kind of feel like that's the potential that this could be, but maybe some of you have only had one or two of those pictures, but I kind of feel like you're supposed to have that entire mosaic where every experience is kind of a part of the other experience. It was like a beautiful kaleidoscope puzzle. It felt like a masterpiece, like maybe the masterpiece of you. So let's see. Clarify karmic communication, and I can feel the current moving on me, and in love. What else would be helpful to know? Please and thank you. What did I say? What was the knock joke that I said before? So maybe I had a little, pre-premonition of the banana, because you got the banana. Knock, knock, who's there? 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 Orange. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana? It's so stupid. I don't know why that kept coming through. So maybe somebody is, they're missing you, not just in the groin here. This is somebody who has some tension. Maybe they don't really have a sexy connection with whoever that is. If they're with that person, I do feel like for some of you that karmic is a weird ass friend, or somebody that maybe is even a friend, but is always hoping they are the one that gets to be with your person. So for some of you, this isn't a big separation. This is just someone who's giving little, putting little wedges, little whispers, a little bit of weird in between your connection with this person. But right now, your person is not just deeply in love with you, they are also fantasizing about you heavily. This is somebody that's probably going to the gym, making themselves busy, taking extra long showers, maybe, because if they haven't actually had intimacy with you, they are thinking about it. I don't feel like anybody else is in their fantasy land other than you. And I'm not just getting that this is just plain chemistry. It does feel like it's deeper. I do get that if any of you have been with your person, they feel like I just had that John Legend song come in my mind, like the best they've ever had. And I mean, if it's divine partnership, it will be the best they ever have. If they have it again, ... to be continued. So for some of you, I do feel like some of you had a person that thought the grass may have been greener somewhere else, and maybe they went to a new person, and that is not somebody that's been a karmic in their life for a long time, but maybe a new karmic. For some of you, maybe 2 or 3. You know, if your person was really confused, really trying to see why your situation was so different, why they can't forget about you, and maybe going over here will help them understand it. Or maybe this person has this attribute kind of like you, and they're going to make a connection. I don't think they made that connection. I feel like everything felt kind of empty. I don't feel like anyone else that this person has been with felt that, like, it felt easy to let go of. I don't feel like they were in worry, or they kept fantasizing about another person, or they were constantly thinking about how they were in love with that person too. I don't think this is somebody who typically is, I don't feel like this is like a typically overly romantic person, but I do feel like they're thinking about a little romance with you. Yeah, I kind of feel like this is somebody who's been able to let people go pretty easily. Even if that was, you know, say way in the past and this person hasn't dated anyone in a while, I don't feel like they got over you that easy. I mean, they truly miss you. Especially if this person was like your bestie, you know. You probably really miss them too in that case. But I do feel like some of you put up a block. You're like, I mean, you don't want to be with somebody else that doesn't want to be with you, or doesn't want to call you back, or gives you breadcrumbs, or, you know, suddenly went in a different direction. I feel like a lot of you maybe felt that hurt, experienced it on your own. Maybe with your bestie you expressed that, but I don't think you called this person overly crying or put in any pressure on them. I do feel like a lot of you were really strong MFs and just said, I mean, hurts, you know, more than I can express, but, you know, peace. Wish you the best. And let's continue. So I didn't even read this. You've been on their mind. Well, obviously. And all the things they want to do to you. Sexual healing. I am getting that you are a healing energy in this person's life. Whether you end up together again, whether there's only been a brief separation and this is just a little pocket of weird somebody's going through, or whether you just offered healing in someone's life and you now have somebody new coming into your life that maybe you do have instant chemistry with. And if this situation for some of you could be a karmic situation, it could have been a big, hard, really rough lesson. But if this was your karmic situation, and you have to look at all aspects of a situation, you have to be honest with yourself. If some of you feel like you're just an obsession with someone and it feels unhealthy in any way, you need to go through that process of healing, of putting that beautiful, loving energy into you, what you love to do. And I do feel like maybe some of you had somebody come in your life as a karmic situation and they were there to heal you, to bring you to another place where it's chemistry off the charts, instant communication and sassy banter, you know, meeting of the minds and mental stimulation. And like all of those images that I saw, you just have experiences together, but you're going to really embrace this person if it's a new person coming into your life. Because if some of you have somebody brand new, they're not going to have you in any, I don't see it as any drama. No drama, no mess, no weird. It's almost like, when's it gonna get weird? I don't think it will. I feel like even if you have miscommunication, you're gonna be able to get back on the same page and fix it pretty fast. Maybe somebody is nervous. I looked at that, so let's look at it. You make me feel nervous and excited in a good way. I am scared to approach you. So maybe somebody is a little scared because they're afraid they have to kind of contain themselves if they're even around you. Because I do feel like you do it for someone. You do. You do. Somebody's like, I don't know if I can just have that casual conversation, because I feel like they're constantly like undressing you in their mind. And I am not getting that this is masculine or feminine. Whoever your person is, I do see they're undressing you. They're doing a little striptease with you in their mind. So maybe somebody is nervous to approach you. We're gonna take that, put it down. It's funny, I brought Rose out here yesterday. It was so hot. It was like, it feels like 120 degrees. Like, what? Today, so I brought her down here to the creek, and I put her on the other rock, and she's all shaking. I'm like, I know you're not cold, man. It's like 100-something degrees out here. So I think she was just more like a little nervous Nelly. It was kind of strong current. So, all right, let's get another one. What is another message? Clarity for the collective on. It is getting. I'm gonna do a little dip because it is really, it's really hot out. What is another message from this? And then we'll go to something different. Last message. Woo, yeah. Maybe that's also why someone's nervous. So if somebody is a little nervous here, regardless of the sexual tension they have going on over there, or how deeply in love with you they feel, somebody knows that you kind of, you stood up for yourself, or you at least maybe through a karmic cycle learned to maybe put up some boundaries. You don't want to take somebody's crap anymore. You don't want to get the old runaround. You're not okay with just breadcrumbs, or you always feeling like you have to fill in the gap, grasp on straws, or something's going to slip out of your hands like that slippery fish. You want to feel secure. And if somebody made you feel insecure at all, I feel like you gained some confidence in yourself. So somebody knows that you're like, maybe you did put a block up. They can't come in half-ass here. This is somebody that knows you don't want to play any games unless it's, some fun games like giant Jenga or, tag in the creek. That's different. This is somebody that was playing games with you. Maybe they were playing mind games with you. I do feel like they were definitely tugging on your heartstrings. I feel like for some of you, they didn't really even know that they were doing it. Because for some of you, it was just a repeat pattern. It's just kind of how they handled every relationship, or maybe one big weird one. Or maybe they just have influences around them, and it's how those people handle their relationships, and that's all they had to compare it to until they met you. So they know you're just over the games. You are no longer gonna accept less than you deserve. And you deserve the freaking world. Good for you for knowing what you deserve and not accepting less. Like fist bump. Yeah, you got this. I feel like calling you my bestie right now. Also, because you showed them spiritual light. You showed them something they never saw before. This card is such an amazing energy to it. It's like those, I just watched this the other day. I watched people who had surgery, and some of them had the piece put in their ear, and some of these people were adults, some were children, and they never heard before. And all of a sudden they're hearing their husband's voice, or their father or their mother's voice, or their sisters. And a lot of them knew how to speak, but they never heard a voice. Can you imagine never hearing, and then hearing an orchestra, or hearing a choir sing, or the person you loved say I love you, and what that sounds like? I mean, it was touching. But there's also videos I've seen where people who are colorblind are given glasses, where if they've never seen blue ever, they put these glasses on and they look at the beautiful living earth here, and they see these colors they never even knew existed because they had absolutely no comparison to it. You're that. You're the, you know, the magical thing in someone's ear. You're those glasses where someone can see. And that takes some time to adjust. That's also a lot to handle. You know, if somebody just never saw blue before and you're like, oh no, that's blue. And you're like, no, you know, that's blue. You're like, no, here, come look at it like this. And they're like, I mean, how do you process something you've never seen? So there might be some processing that's happening. There also could be somebody that is looking at their old black and white world, you know, what was this way or that way. And that's what they knew. I feel like it was very structured. I feel like somebody had to do some unlearning, some big epiphany kind of energy, you know, to what they didn't know, they didn't even know. Now they know. So what are they gonna do? I've always tried to be realistic with life, but you open me up to color. Maybe they're seeing that once they have this color, that's more real than the real they thought they knew. All right, I'm gonna have to kind of move these over here because I don't want them to fall in the water. So what else did I bring? Let's do a spirit message. I feel like we need to get you a message right now. So let's go to the spirit message deck and get you a little insight. What would be the most helpful message for the collective with right now, wherever you are on your journey, to know to be helpful? What is the most helpful message for the collective today? Please and thank you. It's good I have my big glasses. Hold on. Tiny little letters here. Whatever you, this is talking to you now, whatever you have been putting off, don't procrastinate any longer. Tackle. Maybe you want to go fishing. I just like that it has that word. That's good synchronistic message here in the creek. Telling you to tackle that long overdue project. If you don't know what to do, if you are so overly focused on another person or what's going on, or heartbreak, because heartbreak, you know, honestly, if you're going through heartbreak, you could try to focus on other things as much as you can, but you feel it, you do. And if you're going through that, I know it sucks. It does suck, but you're going to get through it. Maybe it is good for you to tackle something that you love to do. What is an experience you've always wanted to try that would just bring you some joy to think about, that you planned for that thing? Who is a person in your life that you just kind of enjoy being around? Maybe you need to call that person up and go out for pizza, whatever. A really loud truck. So you have something that's long overdue. And if you're just sitting on the fence, procrastinating, you'll get to it tomorrow. You'll get to it after that other thing. After you reach this goal, then you'll try to do that. How can you at least take a step towards it today? No more waiting. No more sitting on the bench. No more, afraid to get up to bat or stepping out on that stage, or afraid to let your light really shine. Let your light shine when you're in the joy, when you're talking about the things that make you happy. You're gonna allow other blessings to, just like magnets and magnetism, trickle into your life. So you will feel better once you begin. That's usually the hardest step. If you're hiding behind the curtain, afraid to go out there, you're like, I don't know if I'm ready. Sometimes you're not ready, but sometimes that raw and not ready try is, I don't know, I actually get that it's what gets you the connection. I kind of feel like some of you want to be the professional, or you want to have all your ducks in a row before you start something, and sometimes you got to figure out the ducks in the row while you're on the stepping. So start with one thing at a time. I saw those ducks. It reminds me of my mom saying, bird by bird, just bird by bird. That's always stuck with me. So, thoughts and ideas not acted upon are just laying in wait. Like waiting in the water. You know, you're gonna get pruned if they stay there too long. You can do this. It's like Spirit's giving you a high five here. You got your back. You can do it. And I always feel like there's that extra message where sometimes people think it will be something that's successful and it doesn't work out. Sometimes people don't even try something because they're afraid to fail. But if there's something that you still want to try it. If you don't succeed and it's a failure, you now know. So that's not something you're going to be sitting on the sidelines thinking about forever and being that wishing you would have regretful energy. Better to try it and then nope, that career choice was not good for me, or that place was not good for me, or yep, that person I got a little red flag, with over there wasn't for me, but what did I learn from that? I will see that red flag faster in the future. It's okay to choose wrong if you learn. Where it gets weird is if you keep choosing something wrong and you're not learning and you're not growing. So let's go to the tarot. I feel like the Muse is appropriate. I only brought a couple decks in my new cooler backpack that happens to be waterproof so I can bring my cards to the Greek. I bought that especially for you guys. So interesting because, can I show you it? No, I don't. Yeah, I can. Show and tell. Hold on. Because I saw that pink. Maybe there is something about pink. You see her shoes and her top. Interesting. Also the same color as the towel I brought. And the drink I brought. Oh my goodness. But that's too far away. I'm not getting up to that. But very cool. Backpack cooler. But maybe there is something about that pink. Like hot pink. Maybe your person likes hot pink. I don't know. I feel like for some reason that's a synchronistic message. So let's go to the Muse. And just get you a little bit of movement, clarity, what would be helpful for you to know. I'm glad that the sun isn't really direct on me. It's at least coming through the trees here. So what would be, what's the most prominent energy? I'm going to take a little dip. Prominent energy. For the collective to know today. We're going to ask about today. Whenever you're watching this. Prominent energy to know about. Whatever that spirit message just said, that's it. It could also be very hot where you are. It's also recognizing there's a spiritual beginning coming in for you. And if it's not with this person right now, or that communication doesn't come as soon as the card said, what can you begin that lights up your soul, that gets your spirit twinkling? It's telling you to do it. It's telling you to be in your masculine energy, regardless of your gender right now, and go for it. Go for it. I feel like the only thing you would lose is not trying. And this is where it's also having confidence, because you have the Ace of Inspiration. Whatever you're having confidence with, it's like you're spreading the colors of your mind out there into the universe. Or it did say you're getting ideas or epiphanies or inspirations that you're thinking about. So maybe you're bringing this color into your world, into your mind, and it's creating that growth out of your old noggin. Interesting, because whatever is growing here, it's a I just thought of the banana card. No, I'm not gonna. Yes, let's do it. You know it's weird here. I just thought of it as a succulent. So let's just continue. But the succulent doesn't need much water to stay alive. It does need a little bit, but there is something with that succulent where you can overwater a situation and actually kind of like drown it out. So maybe it's having just the right amount and knowing that something's gonna really last, maybe even through a big old dry spell. You know, maybe it's the oasis in the desert. You do have a desert here. That could be where you also had a prickly situation going on behind your back. But I just thought of, I don't know, I've never actually done this, but I think there's water inside of a cactus. If I am wrong on that, can you put that in the comments? Quite obviously, I don't live where there's a desert, but I feel like I've seen that. Like if you really need water, you can like chop a cactus open and drink it. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I do feel like there is a way to have this nourishment in maybe the most unlikeliest of energetic weather circumstances, or maybe actual weather. It does look like there's a teepee. Maybe you're going camping. Maybe some of you live kind of somewhere where it's, I am kind of seeing like Western, or I just thought of Pablo Picasso by Citizen Cope. I do like that song. And yeah, so I'll put that below for you guys. But maybe it's also about like a spirit quest or a vision quest. Maybe it is time by yourself to go on that little vision quest to get an epiphany moment, an aha moment. Maybe if some of you end up back in or have great communication, because not all of you are separated from your person, but you have great communication with a specific person you are in love with, and maybe it's all about the love you and them have, and not worrying about what anybody that has a big mouth outside of that partnership has to say. And maybe there is a little vacay kind of energy you're gonna have with a certain person. It's a beginning, but a beginning needs a next step. Upside down, it's like having that showing kind of energy and not fueling the flame enough to keep it alive. You know, exiting the situation before you knew how inspirational it could be. I also feel like maybe some of you had a great moment or a great time period of inspiration with another person, and maybe you inspired each other towards your own brand new beginnings. That's at the bottom. That's a new beginning after the old ending or the old cycle is let go of. I like that. I mean, the energy of death is Scorpio. Scorpios can dive deep into a situation and face the things that are the most scary, to learn the most and come out with strength. When there's that moth, I also feel like somebody maybe didn't know how to speak. Maybe part of this inspiration is somebody learning how to speak up on their truth when they're confronted in a weird dynamic or a partnership. Especially if somebody's truth has changed. Maybe what their truth was is different from what they are truthful or feeling now, because they see color, because they can finally hear maybe their intuition, where before it was just kind of muffled. With the Scorpio death kind of energy, it's not, I mean, it can be heavy, it can be a done situation. It doesn't mean that it's easy. It can be really hard to do this transition, but it's where before, whoever it was crawling around like the weird caterpillar, you know, just kind of enjoying munching on the leaves, doing their thing. They didn't realize, why are they getting more and more hungry? Why am I eating more and more? I don't know, but everything looks good. I'm gonna eat it all right now. And then boom, all of a sudden they start into that cocoon crystalline situation, and their cells just become a big old mucky mess of mush. They're just mush for a little while. They can't see anything. They don't know what's going on. Their entire consciousness of who they were is changing, and they don't know what is happening until all of a sudden, you know, they feel these things on the back of their, you know, the back of them. What are those things? What is that muscle? Why am I in the dark? Why do I get this urge to use these weird muscles I didn't even know I had to push out of this thing and go towards, I think, the light. Is that the light? Oh, that's a light. But they have to use their own wings to get out. You know, if they don't use their own wings and you kind of help them out of the cocoon, they didn't have that first burst of learning to use their muscles to be strong enough to fly. But once you're up there and you're suddenly a different being with all the same genetics you had as that old being, I mean, you can land with the caterpillars, you can hang out for a little while, but you're always going to know you have those wings and you're always going to be itchy to fly because that's what you are, I heard morphing into, but meant to be. You're meant to fly. So maybe you're with a person and they flew sooner than you and you're playing a little catch up. Or maybe it's the other way around and somebody's going to catch up with you. Maybe they won't. Maybe somebody, was like that butterfly that grew its wings. And they're like, I don't know, I have all my caterpillar friends over there and I really like eating those leaves. So I'm just going to tie my wings down. Maybe stay down here for a little bit. I don't feel like somebody wants to be tied down in that manner anymore. I feel like they almost are going to, I almost see them having like flying dreams. Like their wings are going to want to fly so much that it's almost like even if they're subconscious or they're unconscious, their wings are going to want to really take off and fly. I feel like somebody's going to wake up mid-flight and be like, woo, what is this? Where am I? This is letting the past go. What is done? It's done. What you get to do is learn to thrive. You learn to really feel like you're living. It's knowing that if you get an idea, you're going to act on that inspiration. What experience will that bring in your life today? But if somebody is holding back, if they're staying back there in the past, they're not going to have that growth, that transformation, that transfiguration that happens, the metamorphosis that happens. That is definitely a cycle that needs to happen. It's meant to happen. But you know what? Down here, we are gifted free will. So we have that energy of destiny. You have the Akashic records and the things that you really signed up as a soul to learn, whether that's a hard lesson or an amazing experience in your life. But you can choose to learn or not. All of your choices are yours to make, as are the choices of somebody else for them to make. So I feel like there's definitely a to be continued. I feel that somebody wants to make different choices, that they want to come in and communicate and do all this. But I feel like if somebody is even believing that they're still a caterpillar, even though perhaps they're not, I am seeing that some of you have somebody that maybe thought they weren't even good enough for you. I don't feel you feel that way. I feel like I recognize your beautiful soul. I don't have all this multifaceted hotness for you just because you look cute on the outside or you got a good laugh. There's definitely a lot more there. But maybe somebody had to gain that confidence. That's something that could be stemming back from childhood, from partnerships, from whatever. So let's keep that. Let's get you one more and shuffle. What is a final message on death, transformation? It could also be that some of you, if you are in a situation that you just are over it, maybe the best thing you can do for something to work itself out, because you're going to have that faith that the best thing that God has in store for you will come in. If you were supposed to have a connection with this person and their choices severed that soul tie that you were supposed to have, it is a big world out there. No matter how special you think this person is, if you really desire to be with another person, maybe it comes soon, maybe it comes years later. But I do feel like God has prepared somebody for you, even if that's just your bestie. So let's get one more. What is one more message? To clarify death and Ace of Wands. Here it is, the Ace of Inspiration. Where is it? I just love the colors. I just looked at the banana and I did think of potassium and I thought of cramps. Like maybe some of you, like I see like toe cramps very specifically. Maybe some of you need, I'm not a nutritionist, maybe look this up, but I do feel like somebody needs a little more potassium, but not from the banana. I am seeing coconut water. Maybe coconut water is important for some of you, especially if you feel maybe slightly dehydrated, you're out in the desert. Coconut water can hydrate you a lot better, has better electrolytes. Also, I'm kind of getting a little, I don't know why I see electrical activity now. Maybe some of you have a really high vibration. If you do notice that, let's say, street lamps and such kind of go off or on every time you walk by, just take note of that. So, what is one more final message for the collective that would be helpful? Please and thank you. Guess what you got? The star. Oh, we got a conundrum here at the end. Do you want to be in a situation where you have all these strings, where you're in anything that's unhealthy, where you are giving away your power or entering into false energy, fake energy, manipulation, whatever it is? That's the devil. Sometimes the devil is the temptation. Usually when you are closest to the light or when you're shining, because like the sun is a star. It's our star, but this is you as the star. Somebody could also see you as their star. But the star has its own light, its own vibration, its own vitality. And when you're in that energy where you are really just vibrating and you have really beautiful things happening to you, sometimes you're given that final little testaroo, like, okay, you're really shining bright. Did you really pass that karmic cycle? And this devil energy likes to come in and give a little temptation to try to draw you back to dimming your light, and you're not meant to. This could be where somebody else's energy is. Sometimes the devil is just, for me, a little too much of something, too much coffee, Even if you go to the gym and you think it's something healthy, too much of anything is not a balance. It could be also where I saw that obsessive energy. There could be somebody obsessively trying to manipulate or control your person. You could be obsessively thinking about them so much you're not giving them the space to heal or figure out a situation or bring that beautiful attention and energy back into filling up your own cup and in your own life, that you're smothering, the energy of the universe so something can work out. It could be also somebody kind of obsessing about you, especially if you are the one they lost, or obsessing about comparing why they didn't notice that there was something that's so different over here, and they keep going back to what they knew. That usually is not something that's healthy. This is where you feel stuck. You feel like you're chained down. You feel like you're swallowed into this hellhole. That was really weird. It's kind of what I saw. This way, it's great energy. This way, it's recognizing anything that seemed scary in the past. You're like, yeah, you know what? You thought that monster under your bed or that devil energy was scary, and then you grow the balls or, that spirit inside of yourself to look the devil in the face and go, what? And the little devil shrinks down and melts like the wicked witch of the west when it gets wet. You take away its power. When you get rid of the energy of fear. That bright light makes the biggest shadow. But there's so much strength in recognizing there is light and there is shadow. But to ignore the one or the other and not understand your own inner truth and connection to choose which is where people get lost. So to be the badass enough to face something that feels like a shadow, deal with it, change it, address it, and make the necessary steps to release it or at least adjust it enough so it's back into balance. You've already done the work. And whatever you are doing the work on, whether that's internal work, maybe this is a dark night of the soul situation, or somebody really just didn't believe they were good enough, or they could have their wish come true. This could also be where there are energies that are attracted to this light and they can only get so close before they might get burned, like a moth to a flame. It could also be where your light is so vibrant and bright that maybe some of those moths need to head towards that flame, even if maybe it makes them scared, but they're curious enough that maybe they're blasted with a little love, blasted with a little light, blasted with the vibration of God and truth, that maybe they will transform too. Maybe they'll learn a little something in your light. Maybe some of them won't. Sometimes people go through a karmic cycle, they don't learn, they go through it the next life. But here, if something felt like it was out of reach, out of touch, a little too far away to grasp, this is where something that felt like it was way out there in the universe almost feels tangible, almost feels like it's coming true. Or it's where actual events or situations or people are coming in where you recognize it is coming true. This is you shining your light bright. This is healing after the tower falls. This is hope restored. The star is really nice. She looks quite innocent as well. There's something where her thoughts are just magnifying out there into the universe. Or she's getting spiritual downloads here on how to magnify her as a universe or as a star system or as a star. There's also something here about sacred geometry. Make me think of those posters that they have. I don't know if you can see that. I also just thought of the seed of life, the flower of life, and she's holding a star, like ever so gently in her hand. So maybe you recognize somebody else has that beautiful light, and there's a protective energy here. There's also something about the pyramid, but I feel like this is almost like looking at something through a multifaceted situation. I just thought of that. Wow, I wish I can't think of who painted it, and I know it. But it's the one where it's like God looking down and he has his finger down and he's touching the pyramid, right? I'll try to find it for you. Maybe I'll put it at the end. I can sometimes put a picture. And it's the pyramid, and it's like the inspiration of God is going down to spread on the earth to become real. So how can you make your dreams real? With this, I bid you adieu. I hope that you enjoyed the reading today. Thank you for coming. And I see that my sister has come for a dip, so I'm gonna go hang out with her. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. I love you so much. And I feel so much appreciation for you joining me here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of my family. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.